I'm Starborn. Remember, to be a star, you have to shine your own light, follow your own path, and not be afraid of the darkness, because that's when stars shine brightest. If you've been looking at our newly restored website, starborninstitute.org, you'd already know that the title of tonight's show is Making Up for Lost Time. And we can really be doing that this week. In fact, everybody could get a chance to sort of make up for lost time in one way or another. And so that would indicate sort of forward progress for all of us. Now, why would that be? It is because we've had a number of retrograde planets at the start of the month. There were 6. And now 2 of them have gone direct. Pluto in Capricorn is now direct. Saturn in Aquarius is now direct, and Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, and Capricorn rules the 10th house of our careers, and it rules big business and big government agencies. So maybe something can be moving forward with them. But the reason why we can be making up for lost time is because 2 more planets are also going direct this week, and that is really going to help us because they're both trining each other. And that is because the Sun, Mars, and Mercury are in Libra, and they are trining Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. But Mercury has been retrograde, and Jupiter has been retrograde. Only now they're both going direct this week and trining each other. So that simply means there are 5 planets in the creative, conceptual, expressive, partnership-oriented, and very communicative signs of in the air signs, because the 3 planets in Libra and the 2 planets in Aquarius all trine the sign of Gemini, which does rule communication and easy transitional change or temporary situations. So you could make up for lost time just in a small way, but at least it would be forward progress, and that would be great. So 2 more planets are going to go direct this week, and that means that will leave us, as we go on next week, with only 2 retrograde planets. They're in rather good aspect to each other. They're still going backwards, but they are Neptune in Pisces, and Neptune is sextiling Uranus in Taurus. And so both of those planets are still retrograde. But oh boy, the 4 that have gone direct or are doing that this week are just going to really help us make up for lost time. And that is because these 5 planets that are in the air signs and are all trining each other simply indicate that this is a time for you to, run your ideas by somebody. Talk them over with somebody. Write up a proposal if you need to. Or go and make an appointment with somebody that can help you with something that you have on your mind. And it could be a problem that you want to solve. It could be a way of finding out a little bit more about something that you're interested in. Maybe you don't know enough and you just need to consult with somebody. Well, you could do that. I mean, air signs are wonderful at consulting, and they love to talk things over. So you don't have to be an air sign. It's just that that's the influence of them this week. These 5 planets in the air signs, meaning that you can make up for lost time. And the way that you would do that under the influence of these very cooperative planets in air signs is that you could fast track something. So one of the ways that you could make up for lost time is sort of fast track something. And that simply means that if you wanted to really get something underway, or you wanted to call a meeting, or you wanted to consult with people, or make appointments, or just go to somewhere that is rather pleasing, or take a short trip, you could do it now. And you could do it rather easily if you wanted to sort of fast track it. And if you had the additional time to go ahead with that. So you could fast track something. maybe for one reason or another, generally because things have been stalled for a long time, you haven't been able to go forward, but now you could. So fast tracking is one way to get there. And remember that air signs have a youthful enthusiasm. No matter what age they are, they're always open to new ideas. So you don't have to be afraid of anything. Just let somebody know what you're thinking and find out what they think about it too. The other way that you may choose to go as you are making up for lost time is a slower path. You might want to take a slower path. And that could be because you already have a lot of your time booked. Maybe you have prior obligations, or maybe you're busy doing your job and doing other things as well, and gee, there aren't enough hours left in the day. So it also could be that you may feel that for the goal that you have in mind, you may need further education or training in one way or another. And taking sort of the slow route or a slow path means that you might want to go ahead and increase your skill level and then let people know what your ideas are. Or then apply to some sort of program or for some sort of grant or loan. Just sort of make sure that you've really got something that people can take seriously. So you might want to take the slow path. Now, why is that? When I said those air signs are beautifully trining, and oh, gee, why couldn't we take the fast track all the time? It's because 3 of those planets in Libra, an air sign, are in a cardinal sign. Libra is air sign, but it's a cardinal sign. And those 3 planets in Libra, which is the Sun, Mars, and Mercury's about to go direct, but they are squaring 2 more planets in a cardinal sign. So this isn't a harmonious trine we're talking about now. This is sort of a challenging square. And that may be why you want to take a slower path. And maybe it's just your speed. Maybe you're not in a hurry for something. Maybe you just sort of want to go along little by little. So the 3 planets in Libra are squaring the moon and Pluto in Capricorn, both of which are direct, and they are exactly conjuncting each other today. And so, you know, they're a powerhouse because they're together, but they're in Capricorn. And Capricorns like to be thorough, and it rules administration, and it rules knowing all the steps you have to take before you can accomplish a goal. And so maybe you need to go a little bit more slowly. And another reason could be that there could be a legal problem or a partnership problem or a problem with a contract that's not quite solved yet. And that could be holding you up a little bit. And so you may want to take a slower path. So whether you fast track or whether you're taking a slower path, depending on what your other time commitments are, for sure, either way, you're going to be able to make up for lost time now. And that is because of the harmony in the air signs, which means people want to hear about new ideas. I mean, there can be a lot of people that are wondering why they haven't heard from you. And they may just wonder how you are and what you're doing and what you're thinking. And so, you know, this is a time to open up a little bit and just contact people. You know, nothing wrong with that. And it's also a time when I would say people are very much in the mood for that. A lot of people are in the mood for that. And if you're just so busy that you're sort of thinking, oh, you're going to have to put your main dream on a shelf forever, that's not true. Because you certainly will have opportunities to make a dream come true in 2022. And the reason for that is that Jupiter's going into Pisces, and Pisces rules dreams. And Jupiter it is a planet of expansion and opportunity. So somehow, even if you're pressed for time or you haven't quite figured out how you're going to do it yet, you could still make up for lost time. You could still make up for things that should have been done already, but they just weren't for one reason or another. And so you can fast track them, or you could go a little bit more slowly at your own pace if you like. So that's sort of nice. You could choose either way is going to help you. And so I don't see how you can actually lose on this. So what does this mean to all 12 of the sun signs as we all can contemplate making up for lost time? Aries. I have some good news for you, Aries. And it is for all the fire signs. And the good news is there is a planet in a fire sign now. And it's trining your sun, Aries. Venus has moved out of Scorpio, and now it is in Sagittarius. It's at 7 degrees of Sagittarius. So it's trining your sun, Aries, and it is also trining the Leo sun. And it's in Sagittarius, which rules the higher mind, and religion and philosophy and the courts and long-distance travel and professional or graduate schools. It rules the idea, and all international dealings and large international organizations. So Venus in Sagittarius is going to be doing you a lot of good, Aries, because there haven't been planets in fire signs for quite a while. And we can all make up for lost time right now. So where would you like to make up the time, Aries? Could I suggest that it could be in your travel plans? And that is because Sagittarius rules travel, long-distance travel, and the holidays are coming. So maybe you could get some help now or make very beneficial arrangements that, yes, you could afford for a long-distance trip over the holidays. Or if you are wanting to improve your skills or become better qualified for a goal that you have by going back to school or taking a refresher course or getting some sort of certification, Venus in Sagittarius can help you with that too. And so this is a time when you can advance, Aries. Okay, but does that mean that all your troubles are over? No, I'm sorry, it doesn't. And that is because your sign is a cardinal sign. And remember, I mentioned there are 5 planets in cardinal signs right now. It's just that finally your sign has some backup. That's the good news with Venus and Sagittarius trining your sun. But the Sun, Mars, and Mercury today in Libra are all opposing your sun, which means you might be on the losing end of a lawsuit, and I really advise you to end it. Or if you are deciding that you would like to get very upset about something that hasn't been fair, that you feel that you need to sort of get mad and let people know what you think about their treatment of you, I would urge you to end that too, Aries. Because Mars is your own ruler, and it's your own ruler that is opposing your sun sign. That's not too good. And for one thing, an opposition is 180 degrees away. It's as far away from your sign as it can get. So even your own ruler isn't going to help you too much. And then Pluto in Capricorn is squaring your sun as well. And the moon is there today, and they are direct, both of them. And so a powerful woman can be sort of making her play or challenging you in some way, Aries. And you might not like that either, but I'm urging you to make up for lost time in an area that pleases you and skip the infighting. Just skip it all. 1, I don't think you'll win it. And 2, an Aries has their pride just like everybody else, and you do not want to look like you're coming in as number 2. And so don't engage in anything that might not turn out favorably for you. Just walk away from it. And so, try to concentrate on your travels or a better education, or something where you're dealing with other people in an international way, dealing with people from foreign countries. That's what Sagittarius rules. You would stand out. You would look good that way, Aries. Or doing something that is really sort of noble, You would look fine. That would be very good for your image right now, Aries. I suggest that you try that instead. And don't go the fiery route. Don't go the you're mad route, because somebody else has a little more power than you do where that is concerned right now. If you feed an enemy, they get stronger, but you don't. And so don't do that. Concentrate on what's good for you and ignore the enemy. A powerful woman does want to challenge you. Well, just don't be around. Don't give them the time of day. Don't let them do it. But that means you have to go do something else beneficial instead to make yourself look good, and you can do it. So I wish you the best of luck. What does it mean to a Taurus? Taurus. Remember I said that the two planets that are going direct this week, Mercury in Libra and Jupiter in Aquarius, are both trining each other, and they're both going to be going direct, and that's really going to enhance our communication skills and make our future look a lot better, because Jupiter is a planet of expansion, and it's in the sign of future Aquarius. Well, I also mentioned that once they go direct, there will be 4 planets that are all direct, but only 2 that are still retrograde. And one of them is in your sign, Taurus. It's Uranus. And so Uranus is now sextile the other retrograde planet, Neptune in Pisces. A sextile is a good opportunity. And so I would say, since Neptune rules, it does rule dreams, but it also rules things hidden behind the scenes, there is the possibility, Taurus, that you could learn perhaps a secret that had been kept rather well behind the scenes. But in one way or another, it comes out. And when it comes out, it may benefit you, Taurus, in a way. It may not be about you, but it could still be about someone that you know, or who is in your work area, or belongs to a group that you belong to. I think there is an association that you have with somebody else who's been sort of hiding something. And I'm not saying that that's coming out, the secret's coming out right now, but it's due to come out soon. And so you could benefit from that. In the meantime, another benefit that's coming your way, Taurus, is that the Moon and Pluto today are both direct, and they're exactly conjuncting each other, and they're beautifully trining your Sun. And so that simply means, Taurus, that someone in a position of power can be sort of doing you a favor. Or it can be that there is a long-term benefit coming to you from someone who may be older. Capricorn rules old age. Or it can simply be that you have been putting money into a retirement plan for a long time, and you decide, okay, now you want to go ahead and begin to draw on that money. You could do that, Taurus. You have to be the right age, but you can do that. And so I think that basically things are rather favorable toward you. The thing that may still be a little uncertain in your life is your future. And the reason why is because now Uranus in your sun sign is squaring Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius. Okay, so it's been squaring Saturn all year, and it's going to keep squaring Saturn for the next 2 years. But now both Saturn and Jupiter will be direct. They will be much stronger. And you still have Uranus retrograde in your sign. And so that is a little hint that possibly someone else, or it could be an organization, or it could be somebody who's very creative, like a musician or an inventor, something like that. Those people can finally really make up for lost time and be wanting to move forward on their own. Now, your sign is a money sign, and these aspects are squaring your sign. So they may decide they want to go make money on their own and not exactly include you in that. So that shouldn't hurt your feelings. Generally, a Taurus is never exactly out of money. They've all got it somewhere. Or it could be in possessions or things like that. So Taurus, remember, this is a good time for you to make up for lost time. But be aware that other people are doing the same thing. They can feel the change that's coming about from these planets going direct. And frankly, Taurus, you're not a sign that wants to take anything on a fast track. Your sign, all the earth signs are much better at taking just one step at a time to reach their goal. Speed is not generally what the earth signs are interested in. What they want is solid results. And you can get those, Taurus. Other people are sort of, I think they want to fast track something, so they're just going to do it. That's okay, Taurus. You're going to advance as well, so don't worry about that. You're not being hurt financially right now. So this is a good time for you to sort of batten down the hatches and make sure that your possessions and your investments are all nailed down pretty safely. Because Mars is going to go into Scorpio and begin to oppose Uranus in your sign at the same time that Saturn is squaring your sign. So that's the three malefic planets in very harsh aspect to each other. That's coming up. And this one's going to hurt. So that's why you need to be careful just with what you're doing, Taurus. Don't worry if somebody else is going off and fast-tracking a plan of their own. I'd wish them well if I were you. You just need to concentrate on yourself right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Gemini? Well, Gemini. Oh, 5 planets in the air signs, all trining your sign where you still have the lucky north node of the moon. So you may want to fast track something right now, Gemini, and you'd have a lot of help with it, which is great. So you're definitely going to be making up for lost time one way or another. In just a very basic way, you could be feeling more energetic. Maybe your health has improved. Maybe your outlook and your youthful enthusiasm is just sort of taking off now, and you're sort of wide-eyed and curious about the world. Curiosity is ruled by your sign. Geminis are very curious people. That's why it rules journalism. Because, if there's a fact out there, boy, a Gemini likes to go after it and really learn what's going on. So you may be wanting to increase your movement in one way or another. And you can do that, Gemini. In fact, that would be good for you. Even if all you did was get out of the house and take a walk every day and make it just a little bit further every day that you walk, that would be wonderful for you. Your sign rules the shoulders and the upper arms, and it rules the lungs. And, the best way not to have a lung disease is to be sure and exercise in the fresh air every day. So if you wanted to walk to the grocery store, you'd be doing yourself a favor, Gemini. You'd be doing your lungs a favor. So just think of how you can revitalize yourself, because I think there's a whole lot of people that are just waiting to hear from you. And they really sort of want you to come forward right now. So you are definitely going to be able to make up for lost time somewhere in your life. And I think it's going to just do you a world of good, Gemini. I think that's going to put a smile on your face. So congratulations. Okay, what does it mean to a Cancer? Well, Cancer, this is a time, since yours is a cardinal sign, when you have to be aware that there are 5 planets in cardinal signs right now. And so they can be affecting you. And in a way that could make you realize that taking the slower path might be a good idea. And the reason why is that whatever you want to make up lost time on, the requirements might have changed for your goal. Maybe you need to be better educated. Maybe you need to pick up some more skills or a certification of some type. And that's perfectly possible. You can do that, just slow but steady. You could do that. You may not have a lot of time between your home and your job to just do that. So you could just take it one Saturday afternoon at a time. And a little, and still make it. But your sign is being opposed by the moon today, which is your own ruler, but it's not in the right place. It's opposing your sun sign, and Pluto. They are conjuncting each other today. And Pluto is direct, and those two are in Capricorn, opposing your sun sign. And so that means that somebody in a powerful position, possibly a woman, in a large government agency or a corporation, does not have your best interest at heart. And they can be deciding to make up for lost time on their own, perhaps without you. Or it can be that the policies change in a large organization or on your job, and the requirements now are that you have to update your skills in one way or another. So these policies are not taking your tender feelings into account, but therefore your long-term job security. So it's a good idea for you to, go along with that, but take the slow path to do it. And then the 3 planets in Libra aren't doing you much good. And that's because the Sun, Mars, and Mercury are all in Libra, and Mercury's about to go direct, but they square your Sun. So actually, Pluto and Mars are squaring each other, and since they rule Scorpio, if you were wanting to, pay down your bills, or you were wanting to apply for a new home mortgage or a better line of credit, you might have a little trouble with that. But once again, if your philosophy is, okay, I don't want to fast track anything, I'm not in a hurry, I'll just do something and take a slower path. Well, that's a good idea, because it works with everything else in your life. And that's important. You don't want to give up the other things that you're doing. So if all you've got is a little bit of time left, you can still satisfy your prior obligations and still cut out a small piece of time for yourself in order to make up for lost time. And you can do that. Nobody said you had to do it quickly. And also, some of these aspects will not last. Well, the moon's going to move on right away. It's a real fast mover. So I wouldn't worry too much about, you might feel as if you're confined in one way or another, but I don't think so. I think it's a matter of timing. And maybe you have to work on your schedule a little bit more and find out what fits in the precious time you have left so that you can still make up for lost time. Okay, what does it mean to a Leo? Leo. Well, as I told Aries, congratulations, there is finally a planet in a fire sign, and it is Venus, which is in Sagittarius right now, and that planet is trining your sun, Leo, which is great for you, because it simply means that you can be interested in sort of higher-minded things. In other words, if you wanted to go forward and perhaps begin to work on a higher level degree, or you wanted to get some increased certification or take some training course to update your skills in order to do something that you're very interested in, but you might sort of need a refresher course in one way or another. It doesn't mean that you're not talented. It means that over the time that things were stalled, when people weren't able to move forward, the rules could have changed a little bit, or the requirements could have changed. And so that's what you need to catch up on. And so taking a slow path to do that is a safe thing for you to do. The part that could help you with fast tracking something would be if you were planning a long distance journey over the holidays. That is something that if you were wanting to do that, boy, you better get it booked now. So fast track that one if you can, Leo. But otherwise, I think that just simply being interested in bringing your level of education up a little bit, or increasing your knowledge, or developing your sense of your own philosophy, maybe broadening your outlook a little bit. All of that can be very beneficial to you, Leo. And it also means you can reach out. Making up for lost time basically means that all the people who got locked down, or, just told that they couldn't move, they couldn't do anything, they couldn't go anywhere, that's what we're making up now. That was lost time, but now everybody can go forward. So, Leo, I think that you're going to be able to increase your knowledge base in one way or another. So if you were sort of wanting to be on a learning track, and that would complement your long-term goals that you want to make up for now, I think that that is a good, wise thing for you to do. But if you wanted to argue about money, or if you wanted to concentrate on investments, I urge you to back off. And the reason why is that Uranus in Taurus is already squaring your sun, and Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius are opposing your sun. That's two malefic planets, Uranus and Saturn. And when Mars goes into Scorpio, Mars will oppose your sun. That's the three malefic planets. All of them are going to be in harsh aspect to your sun sign very soon. And so that is why you should just go a little bit more slowly if you can, unless you're planning a trip. And on that one, I would fast track. The rest I would be cautious about right now. Because you do not want to be in the middle of reaching a goal and have the financial conditions change around you so that your budget is uncertain. You don't want to be caught in that, Leo, but you could be. You could be caught in that, particularly in November. That's why you have to be careful right now. Okay, what does it mean to a Virgo? Virgo. It's very nice that the moon and Pluto are conjuncting each other today, and both of them are trining your sun, and so is Uranus in Taurus. There's three planets in earth signs that are all in very good aspect to your sun sign, Virgo. And your ruler, Mercury, is just about to go direct in Libra. And it's trining Jupiter and Saturn in Aquarius, and Jupiter is just about to go direct in Aquarius. Virgo, you might be the person that's in the right place at the right time. So whether you want to fast track something, which generally Virgos don't like to do because they don't like to skip steps. None of the earth signs like that. They like to know they're on solid ground the whole way. So you may want to think before you jump into something, and I wouldn't jump into something right now, Virgo, because you don't need to. That's the real truth. Something in your life is rather solid. It's rather secure. It's something that you have control over, and you've worked for. So it is a measure of success. I don't know if it's in your investments, or it's in your job area, or it's in your group activities and your friendships, but it's real solid because you've been involved for a long time, and you've earned the security of what it all means right now to you. So you don't need to change. You don't need to fast track. You don't need to take the slow path. You're not halfway up on anything. Whatever you've got, Virgo, it's pretty well nailed down. It's yours. And you know it. Virgos are very good with the bookwork. And so this is a time, if you are anticipating some sort of financial upheaval that might result when the three malefic planets are squaring and opposing each other in November, this is a time when you might want to make sure that nothing is speculative in your life and nothing is halfway finished. In fact, making up for lost time for you would always involve making sure things are finished. It's like, this is not the time, Virgo, for you to go after the thing that you didn't get during the pandemic. Instead, this is the time to make sure that you've really finished and completed everything you've been doing during the pandemic. And you probably have. Maybe you're in a really good spot. But generally, everybody has a little something they got to catch up on. So you probably do too, Virgo. It could be with your health. Maybe that needs a little more attention. But I wouldn't take a risk or a gamble or a big jump on anything right now. Not because you don't know what you're doing, but because an awful lot of other people in November are not going to have the answers. Particularly not to financial conditions. So that's a risk. And Virgos don't like risk. So just be careful right now. And you could improve your health. That's something that you could sort of finish up. But the emphasis is on finishing, not on fast tracking or on slow paths. Just finishing wherever you are right now. And be happy with that. Okay, what does it mean to a Libra? Well, Libra. This is a time when, suddenly your mind can be getting filled up with great ideas that, and you've been wondering perhaps, where did that come from? Well, you have the Sun and Mars in your sign, Libra, but Mercury has been there as well, and now it's going direct, and Mercury is the planet of the mind. Well, these three planets are beautifully trining two others in an air sign, Saturn and Jupiter in Aquarius, and Saturn has already gone direct, Jupiter's just about to go direct, along with Mercury. So I would say, Libra, that you are right on the verge of being able to make up for lost time on something. And you would be a fool not to do it. You really need to go forward and do it. And it could involve fast tracking something. In other words, it might be that you want to repeat something that you've done before because you already know how to do it and you can be successful and make adjustments to whatever the requirements are in our current environment, economic environment. You could do that. That's sort of a fast tracking thing. Or you could decide that you have other obligations and you don't want to give those up either. I mean, your life is your own. And so you want to take the slow path and just take one step at a time in a limited amount of time that you have. And so you could do either way right now, Libra. Taking the slow route to do something would not be putting a lot of pressure on you, so that would be good. And also, Saturn is going to be in Aquarius, trining your sun for the next 2 years. And yes, it's a planet of hard work, but it's a planet of reward. If you were deciding that, okay, I don't have much time, so it'll probably take me 2 years to do this, that could be a genius decision right now. That would be just fine. By the time Saturn leaves Aquarius, it will be in perpetual trine to your sun. I mean, it's going to be helping you the whole time. You would have accomplished something very solid in your life. So think about it. There is future potential there. It's just, I think, going to involve a slow path, not a fast track. You could fast track something, but slow might take longer. But it'll keep you higher for a longer time as well. You might want to think about that, Libra. You do have time on your side. So use it wisely. The one thing that none of us have anymore is any time to waste. It's with all these planets in air signs and with all the retrograde planets going direct, you will discover that a lot of people don't want to waste their time or your time anymore. They want to get going. Well, I'm all for it. So do whatever is going to be best for you, Libra. But these planets that are in the sign of the future, Aquarius, Saturn and Jupiter, are sending you a really strong signal that you can make a very wise choice right now. And it doesn't matter how long it takes to complete. It could be very successful for you. So I would look at something. I'd look at expansion in one way or another. And you don't have to fast track it. Going slower might actually be better for you. Okay, what does it mean to a Scorpio? Scorpio. This is a time when you can be looking all around you and you can be noticing, things are picking up. People want to do things. People are making appointments. People are open to discussions. Or you could just be walking by somewhere and notice, gee, there's a lot of people out talking to each other. And that would be a little strange because during the pandemic we didn't see that too much. But now people just want to get going. They want to make up for lost time. You could be wanting to make up for lost time too, Scorpio. I would say there's just one little blip up before you can do that. And that blip is about to occur when Mars comes into your sign in a few weeks. And it particularly will be lining up 3 malefic planets in harsh aspect to each other in a harsh T-cross all the way through November and part of December. And of the 3, Mars, which is a malefic planet and is your ruler, is going to be in your sign. And that's going to make you a ball of fire, Scorpio. I mean, I hope nobody argues with you while Mars is in your sign. They would deeply regret it. But you have to be careful. You have to be careful that you do not sort of erupt. I mean, you know, this is a time when we enter this harsh period of time when you could say it involves a lot of financial unknowns. This is a time when if you did erupt, it could scare people. And so you have to really sort of keep a lid on your emotions. And that could be hard with Mars in your sign because Mars stirs things up. And you could feel that you're 100% right on something, and you could be. But you have to consider the sort of the arena, the world arena. And the world arena is going to be upset in November and part of December. And that is because of a lack of money. And how could that be? Well, it could be a lack of trade. It could be that, you know, the international shipping agreements are needing a little update. Or it could be that the unions all decide to strike at the same time. Ooh, that could be a little tough. So there's a lot of things that could go on around you, Scorpio, that could upset you. Or maybe you feel that you could jump in and make everything right. I'm not so sure about that because Saturn will be squaring your sun from Aquarius and Uranus will be opposing your sun from Taurus. So whether you're rich or poor, Scorpio, your main job between now and Christmas ought to be guarding your assets. You know, not spending money, but just making sure that everything is safe and secure. And keeping control of your emotions. Yours is a water sign. Water signs do rule healing. And the way that the healing works through the sign of Scorpio is through righting a wrong. Scorpio rules justice. It rules the military. And so there is the possibility of war. And why would the war be coming along? Oh, because somebody's broke. A country is broke. And that's always what starts wars. Somebody, you know, the country turns out and says, oh, we have these great big plans and there's no money. Well, we'll take yours. And so they go to war. And if you look back in history, a lot of wars got started that way. Because they were out of resources or they were out of labor or something was so wrong with their society that they decided war was the only answer. And so, Scorpio, you have to be really careful about what you agree to. And I would be very thoughtful from now on about what you agree to. Because you may not know what everybody's doing. Your sign rules the spy business. And so this is a really good time if you wanted to do yourself and probably the world a whole lot of good. You should go undercover and start looking at what's really going on. Because you may not get caught at anything, and you would find out many secrets that might be somewhat life-saving once you find them out. So that's not a bad idea. And then you have to be careful that the financial markets just don't get completely out of kilter. Well, you don't have anything to do with that. It's the way people think that gets them out of kilter. And you can't control everybody else. So you need to watch out for yourself a little bit right now. Making up for lost time might actually mean that this is a very good time for you to sit down and try, they say in the Bible, physician, heal thyself. It means maybe this is time for you to sit down and look at what's been going wrong or what's been troubling you and try to think of how to heal from it. Because that would do you a lot of good. And it might take work, but it would do you a lot of good. The other thing that your sign rules is medicine. But the kind of medicine that is, and healing that is ruled by Scorpio involves surgery. So the doctor that comes in and says, give me the scalpel, I want to cut something out. It could be a cancerous tumor, for instance. You know, he's saving a life. But he's using the sharp instruments. He's not being emotional. He's just fixing the problem. He's healing it. And so there is the possibility that something has to be cut out of your life that has been bothering you. And now's the time to do it. So there's a lot going on, Scorpio. There's enough for you to do to generate a healing in yourself that I hope you're not tempted to go out and get involved in other people's battles. I don't think that would do any good at all. Okay, what does it mean to a Sagittarian? Sagittarius. Congratulations! There is a planet in a fire sign, and it's Venus. And it's in your sign, Sagittarius. Oh, I bet you've got a trip planned for over the holidays. That would be nice. Also, if you don't have a trip plan, you ought to make some plans, because the plans would go quite well. And on top of that, you're very popular. When Venus comes into somebody's sun sign, it just opens them up and makes them very popular. So Sagittarius, you could be looking at a pretty happy holiday season. And so that's great. It also means that there is the possibility that you can be finally firming up plans so that you can make up for some lost time and move forward on a goal. And the time to do that, I think you should try that, because there is a solar eclipse coming up in your sign on December 4th. So, you know, we'd have to get through the Halloween time, and we'd have to get through Thanksgiving, and then, wow, there's the solar eclipse. And that's going to be wonderful for you, Sagittarius. So, you know, when Venus is in a person's sun sign, they're generally in a pretty good mood. So why don't you take your good mood and go see what you can make up for? In other words, if there have been some things that have had to be put on hold because there just wasn't any way to resolve them, well, maybe there can be. Maybe with your fine mind, you can come up with some great answers right now. And people are, with 5 planets and air signs all trining each other, people are very willing to exchange ideas. And they also just want to bounce their ideas off of other people, see what the reactions are. Well, you should try that too, Sagittarius. And also, people might just be really appreciative of what you're ideas are and that you're willing to share them. They could really like you for that. And so we do not know how much we've lost on the inside during this pandemic. We don't know what the confidence level is of everybody. We don't know what the health status is of everybody. We don't know where they are in their lives. We do know everyone's lives were disrupted, but we don't know what the aftermath is. And it's possible that your wisdom or your really high-minded ideas could be just what the doctor ordered this holiday season. And you could give a lot of good advice to people that they might appreciate a whole lot more than you realize, Sagittarius. People know how smart you are. And so, this is a time when you should speak up. You should talk to people. You should tell them what you think. You should write something down. Work hard on your ideas, because they're really going to have a profound influence on your future, Sagittarius, and that is coming right up. So just have a confidence in yourself and make up for lost time and go for it. I wish you well. Okay, what does it mean to a Capricorn? Capricorn. This is a time, Capricorn, when, in a funny kind of a way, I think that you're rather well self-contained. In other words, with the moon and Pluto is direct now, both exactly conjuncting each other in your sign, and Uranus and Taurus is trining them in your sign, you can be feeling pretty satisfied with a very fair assessment of what your talents are today. And you could be thinking of what you want to do in the future. You could be thinking of how you want to make up for lost time, because we have all lost a lot of, we sort of lost our oomph during this pandemic. And now we can get it back. Nothing begins without a good idea. You have to have the good idea first. This is a prime time for everybody to have good ideas. So you could be having some, Capricorn. And Capricorn, when are you going to find out if they work or not? This is a time when you should be committing yourself to some sort of additional career role that you are talented in, that you already know you have the talent to do. You may want to take the slow track and take a refresher course or get a little bit more training in something or a certification in something. That's fine. Or you may just want to try to fast track something, but that's generally against the nature of an earth sign. Earth signs would rather move steadily forward. And it's pretty hard to knock down an earth sign because of that. They keep their eyes on the goal. And so they're not easily distracted. So this is a wonderful time, Capricorn, for you to sort of, if you were going to make up for lost time, I would suggest that you just clean up the clutter somewhere in your life and keep whatever it is that you need to start something new or to reach a higher plane. Capricorns are very good at reaching one level and mastering that, and then they reach the next level and they master that, and then they go to the next level, and then, in other words, it takes them a while, but they always climb, they always make it, they advance. So why don't you do that, Capricorn? I don't mean that you have to be a bundle of energy. You don't have to fast track anything, and you probably already have some obligations that are important to you. But you could find a little time to go forward on something that you really hadn't been paying too much attention to, but that you care about a lot. You just haven't been doing a lot about it. And so try to carve out a little time when you can correct that, if possible, Capricorn, because it's important for the flower to bloom. And it's not enough just to be planted. You got to bloom. And this could be the time for you to bloom, Capricorn. Slow but sure. Just your speed. I would suggest you go forward if you can and try to make up for lost time in something. Not everything, but in something. A little advance doesn't hurt anybody. Okay, what does it mean to an Aquarian? Well, Aquarius. Oh, first Saturn went direct in your sign last week, and now Jupiter is going direct in your sign this week. And they are being trine, both of them, by 3 planets in Libra right now, the Sun, Mars, and Mercury, which also is going direct this week. So I would say that if you have not initiated something new, that you're right there, and just about to really do it. And Aquarius, you could be saying, oh no, I think we'll do this after the first of the year. Well, okay, so that would sort of like be taking the slow path, or it'll give you time to get through the holidays and then change your schedule a little bit after the first of the year. That's fine. But I would say that there is such strength in the air signs right now that it is perhaps a lot more likely that you would want to go ahead and fast track something right now or in the next week. And it could be something that had been just stalled for a long time. And, in the meantime, between when it was stalled and now, when we can all make up for lost time, some things could have changed. And you may need to update your skills or take a refresher course. Or you may decide to take a slower path, but with a bigger gain at the end, if you continue on. So I would say the only thing that you need to watch out for, Aquarius, since, the stars are pretty well with you, there's 5 planets in the air signs, all supporting your sign, that the only thing you would need to watch out for is you really need to keep your hands on your money. In other words, don't spend it in November and halfway through December. So that means not a lot of online shopping, Aquarius. Not while there's going to be a harsh T-cross of 3 malefic planets, one of which is in your sign, Saturn. And that will be squaring Mars in Scorpio, and that Mars will be opposing Uranus in Taurus. We're really in for financial trouble then. And so that's not the time to spend money. That is the time to hang on to your money. And so you may need to delay your plans just a little bit further, but you could still be getting better prepared for what you want to make up for lost time on. We can all just improve by learning things. And one good way to learn things is active learning. Active learning is different than passive learning. Passive learning is you sit there and you listen to the lecture and hope you got it. And active learning means that they give you the lecture and they make you get up and do something to apply what they're talking about so that you do it. Active learning is you do it yourself. Aquarius, that would be a good kind of learning for you. Active learning. You're not a theoretician, you're an inventor, and yours is a fixed sign. Aquarians like to fiddle with things. They like to just see, okay, I've done this, but what if I change this? I wonder how that would look this way. I wonder how this goes. And that's the way we invent things. We don't know how they're going to work or if they're going to work, but it's so intriguing to see if it will. And that's what you could be thinking about. You could be trying to not spend too much money until much closer to Christmas. And in the meantime, just trying to learn something actively that could really help you in the future. You only have Jupiter in your sign until December 28th. That's why I'm saying pay attention to yourself and how you can improve. Whether you want to fast track or slow track, it doesn't matter. The emphasis should be on you and not on spending money or not on investments, just on your own skill. and improving it, improving your skill. Or else inventing something completely new, or writing some great music. You could probably do that, Aquarius, so good luck. Okay, what does it mean to a Pisces? Pisces. This is a time when there aren't a lot of planets in water signs. In fact, there's only one, and it is Neptune, which is in your sign. And it's a planet that is going to stay retrograde. And it is sextiling Uranus in Taurus, which is also going to stay retrograde. Not for too much longer, but it'll stay retrograde. These will be the only two planets in the heavens that are going backward. All the others are going to be going forward. We are really going to notice the pace picking up. Everybody will notice it. It's just like finding the fountain of youth and deciding, oh gee, you want to jump in and do a whole lot of things that you couldn't do before. Well, that's good. People should do that. And you should too, Pisces. So this is a time when I think that with both Jupiter and Saturn right behind your sun sign, and they've been retrograde, but as of this week, well, Saturn is direct and Jupiter is going to go direct this week. Both of those very good planets in Aquarius are going to be right behind your sun sign, and they're going to be direct. And so this is a time when you should contemplate taking a step forward. It might be making up for lost time. It might mean, taking the slow track and getting a little more training or education. Well, once you get it, no one can ever take it away from you. It really is good to go forward and learn new things. Because that's the direction the world's going in. And you want to sort of keep up with that, I hope. On the other hand, you may want to fast track something that's been on hold for a long time. And I think that there is the possibility that you could do that. But at the same time, you could be distracted by some sort of idea of a vacation somewhere along the line that is in a foreign country or is far away. And that is because Venus in Sagittarius is squaring Neptune in your sign. But Venus is very well placed in Sagittarius, and that rules long-distance travel. So you may be thinking about that as well. It's just a question of how much is the turmoil and the financial unknowns in November and the first half of December, how much is that going to affect people's budgets and their retirement accounts and their savings accounts? That's why this is not a time to take a gamble on anything, Pisces. But on the other hand, this is not a time when there's a lot holding you back anymore either. The one thing that could be holding you back is a little bit of sort of shyness or doubt about your own dreams. Maybe you know what you want, or you know what the dream is, but you are a little unsure about its chances for coming true. And I would say with Neptune retrograde in your sign, you should continue to investigate the possibilities of things, but not commit yourself completely to them. Just keep looking for more information. Because when Neptune does go direct, you're going to be loaded with information and you will be able to make a great decision. And this is important for you to concentrate on yourself, Pisces, because Jupiter is coming into your sun for the first time in 12 years. I mean, it was there for 2 months this year, but next year it's going to be there for the whole year. And your life is going to expand. So this is a time for you to sit down and ask yourself how you feel about things. And then you can ask yourself what you want to make up for, or perhaps what you just want to let go of. We'll see what happens. All right, thanks so much for tuning in. Remember, you can see the show and read our blog on our website, starborninstitute.org. Bye.